Hey there, are you here to learn about the full process involved in actually getting blue grade gear for your sailboat? In this case the Epheria Sailboat, that's what I'm going to be talking about. Because if so, about a week ago I made my own blue grade cannons for my own Epheria Sailboat, and I'm going to walk you through the entire process with all of the materials that you need to get, how you get them, how you craft the cannons, and I also checked the materials required for the other three pieces, the other three boat pieces, so we can talk about that after the cannon part, and you should have an idea about everything that you will need to get blue gear for the Epheria Sailboat. If you already have all of this, I guess you can stick around and just hear me out. If you just want to learn about the process, then I guess let's get started from the beginning. You have your Epheria Sailboat, you want the gear. I would suggest you first start with the cannon because that's the only one that gives AP and it's arguably the best piece. So for the cannon, you first start by getting the 5 design pieces. As far as I know, there are only 3 ways to get the blueprints or the designs, however you want to name them. The main one is to do the dailies in the Epheria port. You can see my ranger doing them right now. Basically, you pick up the quest, you move 2 crates to the raft manager, and then after that the quest is over. It's fairly easy, you get 1 design or blueprint per day, and after 5 days you have enough to start making your first piece. This is more of a passive process because it's much easier. I mean, you only have to do 1 quest over the course of 5 days. The other materials are harder to get. If you want the designs faster, there is also a weekly quest that you can do, as the name implies, once a week. I never did it because it didn't seem, I couldn't be bothered to do it. And there's also a one-time quest line, which I will link in the description, a site that can walk you to the entire quest line if you want to do it. That one will give you 3 designs or blueprints at once, so basically if you do that quest line plus 2 dailies, within 2 days you can get the designs for your cannon. After you have those, the next material is 30 sturdy ash plywoods for the cannon, for which you need to have obviously ash plywood and hardener. The hardener is the material that I found the hardest to make because it requires 4 fir saps, I have a lot of that, 3 bloody tree knots, I have a lot of those as well. What I didn't have was trace of the earth. This material only drops from 2 nodes to excavation nodes, you can see them on the screen, and I did not have these nodes. So I would suggest if you want to make any Epheria Sailboat blue gear piece, get these 2 nodes because you will need them for all 4 pieces. And after the trace of earth, the last material is a pure powder reagent, which you make by doing alchemy. This one I found again a little bit hard to make because it required me to have purified water, which at that specific time I couldn't snipe from the marketplace. I had to go all the way to Sandgrain Bazaar to buy the purified water from the NPC, but anyway. Silver azalea, I had a lot of that in my bank, and wild grass, you can easily buy that one from the marketplace. I would assume this is the case for every server. And once you have all of that, and you can craft the pure powder reagent, use that then on the hardener recipe, and then you can snipe from the marketplace some ash plywood. I believe I bought about 150 of them. If not, you can just make them yourself. For convenience, I decided to buy them. And this way you get the sturdy ash plywood. It's not that hard of a process. The only hard part, in quotation marks, is getting that trace of the earth if you didn't have the 2 excavation nodes, because no one is selling this trace of the earth on the marketplace, or they get sold very rarely for obvious reasons. Now you have the ash plywood, you have the hardener, you want to make the sturdy ones, you need to heat them together, the plywood and hardener, but for this you need to have the required knowledge to actually do this level of heating or processing. This I did not have myself, so you can see on the screen it's a quest line a very small one that you need to follow around the Kaplan city, and I would suggest you bring with you 10 cobbles and 10 melted iron shards to complete this quest. That's how much I used, but you should probably get more for safety reasons. So let's say 20 cobble and 20 to 30 melted iron, just to make sure you have enough with you. Once you are done with that small 2 to 3 quests questline and you can perform the heating, you have yourself the sturdy ash plywood. Next material on the list, we have pure iron crystals. I bought these from the marketplace as well, but you can make them yourself by basically heating weapons as far as I know. They are pretty often on the marketplace, so I would just simply buy them again for convenience reasons. And even though you only need 10 to make the cannons, I would buy maybe 100 to 120 in total, because you also need these to make the Margoria Dark Iron. That one is made by heating together Hekaru spikes and the iron crystals, and from what I saw, it takes a little bit more than 1-to-1 ratio. Basically I used about 110 iron crystals to make 100 Margoria Dark Iron, and I needed exactly 5 Hekarus to get the spikes required. I would say maybe between 5 to 6 Hekarus is a safe, number to hunt for. Well, once you have all of that, the last material is Trace of Battle, which you can obtain by gathering this specific node. I had a lot of Trace of Battle in my bank, so again, no issues here. Once you have every single material and you are done with this stressful process of, crafting some materials and gathering others, you go to Epheria port. At least this is where I crafted my cannons. I'm not sure if there is other ship part workshop, but I used the one in Port Epheria. I disconnected some storage from Hydel to have enough CP to connect to it, and once I had the workshop, the cannons were made. So that's pretty much the entire process. It seems a little bit easy, I guess. Now it seems easy as I say it, but it took me about 2 to 3 days to get all of this made, just because of that trace of earth that I did not have and I had a hard time getting. But yeah, once you get the cannons made, the very last step is to actually enhance them, because at least I believe at +0 they are not really that useful, and it's very easy to enhance it. So I personally used fail stacks to enhance it. I'm not sure what I should recommend, since it's a blue piece of gear. I assume you need to have memory fragments to repair it. So keep in mind how many fail stacks you want to use. I used between 10 and 20 for each enhancement level. I had quite a lot of those enhancement levels stored, so it wasn't really an issue using, after every single enhancement, even at +1. So now, after all of this, you finally have the cannons and you are ready to go sea monster hunting. 5 days later, if you kept on doing the dailies for the blueprints or the designs, how they are named, you can start making your second piece, and so on and so on. I personally would recommend to make the enhanced black plating, the black breeze sail, and the dragon prow as the other 3 pieces, as all of these 3 will give you extra movement speed compared to their counterparts, which don't give us much movement speed but may give you some little bit more weight limit and stuff like that, which in my opinion isn't really that useful. I personally would go for movement speed. I guess I should debate the cannon as well. Some people prefer the one that gives DP, but I personally went for the one that gives the most AP, since this is the only item that will give you AP for your boat. So let's talk about the other 3 pieces. I didn't get to craft these yet, but I have 5 designs in my ranger's inventory, so as soon as this video is done, I will start making my second blue piece. For the plating, the first material required is 2 hard pillars. This one is made by combining hardener. Again, you will have to make that, so keep stacking up that trace of the earth, and 10 logs, which I assume most people have logs if they chop any form of tree in the game. Second material, 100 glue. This one may come a little bit harder to get. You get glue by hitting lobsters, and you get lobsters by doing underwater gathering. You can see on the screen the area that I personally use. I didn't do underwater gathering a lot, only once in fact, and it was in this area because I was told, or I saw that that's the best place. That's where you get lobsters, you hit those for glue, and you need 100 glue in total. Third material for the plating is 1,500 palm plywood. For this one there are 2 palm timber nodes, however you pronounce it, on the Arehaza side of the map. So I connected those a long time ago, and now I'm happy I did, because I don't have to snipe the timber from the marketplace to make the plywood. But if you don't have these 2 nodes, just buy the timber from the marketplace, it's not that hard, and then process it, chop it down into plywood until you have 1,500. The fourth and last item is Trace of Death. This one you cannot get from any node as far as I know, so the only way to get it is probably by grinding or some other form. Where I know Trace of Death drops is at Soldier's Grave, so maybe consider grinding that one until you get all of the Trace of Death required. That's the materials for the plating. The third blue piece is the sail, in no particular order. You can make them in any order you want. I would just simply say first start with the cannon. So the third one is the sail. First material, you need 300 tough flax fabrics. This is made by combining flax fabric that you get by processing flax into threads and then into the fabric with Hekaru spikes that you get by doing sea monster hunting. So again, you have to go out and hunt some Hekarus to get those spikes, or maybe ask your guild to give you the ones that they have in the guild storage to do the process easier. After the flax fabrics, second material, 80 glue, which again same process as the previous one. You need to get lobsters, so underwater gathering. The sail seems to be harder to make. You need to do both underwater gathering and sea monster hunting to get the materials, and not to mention the third material is 10 blue whale tendons, which I can only assume you get these by doing hunting, and on the marketplace they are pretty much sold out. So the sail seems to be the hardest one to make so far. The last item is Trace of Ascension, which you get from one of the nodes that you use to get the earth trace from earlier. So as I said, you will need those 2 nodes for the other pieces as well. The fourth and last piece is the Praw, which first material you need 50 black gold ingots, which you make by combining Ocean Stalker blue items with the pure platinum crystals. So again, a little bit more sea monster hunting involved. After that you need 2 gold pearls, which you get from the giant pearl oysters. So again, a little bit more underwater gathering. I'm not sure how much time it takes to get these because I didn't make the items yet, but that's what you have to do. For the place, you can see on the map, I'm showing where you need to do the gathering, or at least where I understand you should do gathering to get the oysters. And after that, third material, 10 pure lead crystals. I would just simply buy them from the marketplace, straight up, fairly easy. And the last item, 100 traces of chaos, again from one of those 2 nodes that you use to get the trace of the earth. So that being said, that's pretty much everything you need for a full set of blue equipment for your Epheria sailboat. After going through all of this, it's not as confusing as I thought it was. Most pieces seem to involve some underwater gathering and doing sea monster hunting to get the materials. I would say the cannon is the easiest one to make, then the plating would be the second easiest one to make. You only need to do some underwater gathering for that one. for the glue and to snipe the palm plywood from the marketplace. The third hardest one to make is probably the Praw, because again you need the oysters and to do some sea monster hunting for the ocean stalker parts. And the hardest one is the sail, because you need the tendons, which is probably hunting, then the glue, which is again underwater gathering, and of course the Hecaru spikes for the flax fabrics. So yeah, that's everything. I hope you found some information out of this. I hope I didn't make the video too long actually, I didn't really pay attention to that, but yeah. I will see you in a different video. Let me know how long it takes you to get all of these pieces. Did you actually do the weekly, do you do every week the weekly quest for the designs? Because I know I'm not bothering with that. I just simply go or log on an alt there once a day to do the daily. That takes maybe 2 to 3 minutes, and once I stack up enough of those designs, I will start making the other pieces. As I said, now I have 5, which means I'm probably going for either the Praw or the plating next, depending on which one I fancy. So yeah, see ya, stay happy, keep playing Black Desert, I don't know what to say. Leave a comment if you want to discuss about this further, and I will see you in a different video with me going out to do some more sea monster hunting with my blue grade gear. By the way, from the previous video, I now know I should hunt candidums and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm rambling. Yeah, the video is over. Bye bye.